All right, good morning. It is Friday, September 27th, and it is 9:31 a.m., and we are calling the September panel meeting to order. I'm going to pass over to staff for roll call and logistics. That's the word I'm looking for.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the September panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the auditorium in order to avoid a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream via mobile device or connect to Zoom platform as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person and presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raise hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you will be unmuted. Please speak clearly, state your name, title, and the company you are representing. You will be given 3 minutes to speak. Moving on to roll call. Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Present.
Michael Hill.
Present.
Douglas Tracy. Chris Dombrowski. Madison Hull.
Present.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Chair Betancourt, there are 7 members present. There is a quorum. Also present is Jessica Grimes, Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director, Kumani Armstrong, Assistant Director, Chief Counsel, Jaime Gutierrez, Chief Deputy Director, Tara Armstrong, CIO, Chief of Technology, and Laura Campbell, Chief Program Operations.
Thank you. Okay, those of you at the back, there are a few chairs up front if you want to sit up front, but you're welcome to stay at the back as well. Just saying, if you don't want to stand, there are a few chairs at the very front if you feel brave. All right, so we are going to move into the approval of September panel meeting agenda. Do we have any amendments, or do we have a motion?
I would like to move to approve with the amendment to move the policy committee report out to immediately after the memo and action item on workforce literacy.
Okay.
Or
Second.
before, I'm sorry, before
Before.
in action. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Anyone else? No?
Second.
Second that motion. All right. Can we have a vote, please, for this?
Chris Dombrowski.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hull.
Aye.
Thank you. So that motion is adopted. Now, do we have one for the approval of August's panel meeting minutes? Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes to be corrected and have staff review and ensure the correct amounts, including the motions made on tab number 4, Lockheed Martin, tab number 7, Milgard Manufacturing, and tab number 13, Murrieta Chamber of Commerce.
Second.
And was that clear for staff? Just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you. Can we go to first of all, was there any public comments on those meeting minutes? No, then we will go to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hull.
Aye.
All right, thank you. So that motion was adopted. The minutes are passed with those amendments. I am going to pass it over to staff, starting with, I believe, the executive report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. And welcome panel members, stakeholders, and staff. I want to begin by sharing we've had a month full of strategic outreach activities, beginning with the Meeting of the Minds Conference, where our illustrious Economic Development Unit co-presented with partners on some of our programs. I too had an opportunity to speak on behalf of ETP at the Kern Coalition's first California Jobs Summit on how ETP is committed to supporting an economy for all through workforce training. Additionally, this week, I was honored to co-present at the California Regions at Work Conference. Sharing ETP's impact through our amazing partners is a privilege that we are excited to share as we seek further opportunities to expand. Today's 73 mission-critical proposals are also illustrative of the transformative earn and learn programs that consistently produce highly qualified workers for career advancement. In addition, we have a presentation on apprenticeships highlighting the impact of these programs and a policy item. Review and action on these proposals will be presented by Manager Willie Atkinson. Additionally, the executive report will continue with the following: a legislative update from Staff Attorney Michael Cable and a budget update from Chief Deputy Director Jaime Gutierrez. That concludes my part of the executive report, so I will hand it over to Mike Cable. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good morning, panel members. Mike Cable, your staff attorney with a legislative report. You do have a legislative memorandum in your panel packet. And as you know, we track bills as we go through the legislative session, and we're heading toward the end of a 2-year legislative session. Let's just cut to the chase. I mean, there's SB 1321. I'm sure most people in this room are aware that there is an employment training bill that makes significant changes to our program. Modifications to project criteria, eligibility, clarifications regarding the funding of apprenticeship programs, and there's also some other amendments to our enabling legislation. As mentioned at the last panel meeting, SB 1321 cleared both houses and was enrolled and sent to the governor's office for signature. And of course, on September 22nd, the governor signed SB 1321, making it law and making it effective January 1st, 2025. SB 1321 does present some issues for us that we need to review. We need to consider. We need to look at the terminology and how we're going to operationalize parts of SB 1321. Your legal unit has been tasked with spearheading this effort and making sure that this gets rolled out correctly. What we're looking at between now and an effective date is the meetings, the panel meetings and committee meetings that we have between now and then. And as we continue to delve into it more further, we plan on providing updates and reports at those meetings. Of course, since these are public meetings, the public will be participating and have a seat at the table during those discussions and negotiations for feedback. So contractors, stakeholders can be part of that. I'm not going to belabor it too much today, just because we're still kind of delving into it and it is fresh and new, but I'm here for any really easy questions you may have for me today before I pass it over to Jaime.
Anyone got questions?
No easy questions.
No, I was going to say, I don't think I have easy.
Excellent. I anticipate we'll have much more further discussion and questions as these meetings unfold. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jaime Gutierrez.
Good morning, panel members. Thank you once again for the opportunity to provide a quick update regarding our funding. First, as always, I would like to make an introduction. We have a new member to the ETP team. I would like to introduce Janae Willis. She is the new Payment Management Unit Manager. She started with us September 16th, so welcome to her. In regards to today's funding, today's panel meeting is for approximately $22.7 million. That includes one delegated order for $26,600. For this state fiscal year, ETP has approved a total of 4 delegation orders. If all proposals are scheduled for today's panel are funded, the panel will be approving 73 projects. Regarding demand, we have 226 applications in demand. 113 applications are currently with regional offices in development. 22 applications are under review by the Application and Assessment Unit, and 91 applications have been submitted and are pending review. The estimated value of the 226 applications is approximately $125,800,000 and breaks down as follows: $40.4 million in demand for single employer contracts, $14.4 million in demand for small business, $69.9 million in demand for multiple employer contracts, and $1.1 million in demand remaining for apprenticeships. Regarding our allocations, we are currently within our total allocations for state fiscal year 24-25. Thank you, Madam Chair and panel members. That is the last portion of my update. We do not have a consent calendar today, so at this point, I will hand it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for Jaime on that budget update? No. All right. I am going to pass it back to staff. I believe it's Willie.
Good. Thanks. Good morning, panel members. For everyone who does not know, my name is Willie Atkinson. I am the Assessment and Programs Manager, and I oversee ETP's apprenticeship program. Today, I will be providing a quick update around our program itself, our spotlight of apprentices, and then review of the proposals. I do have a presentation slide, if someone can put that up there. And can you go to the next slide, please? Again, my agenda for this presentation is to talk about the trainees served, apprentice hotline, spotlight, outreach by programs, which include talking about veterans, women, and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, ETP apprenticeship program update, and then moving on to the review of proposals. Next slide. Trainees served. In this panel packet, you will see for fiscal year 24-25, 15,221 apprentices, 2,836 journey workers, and 48 pre-apprentices. In the last 10 years, we have served 115,937 apprentices, whether they're journey workers, pre-apprentices, but some form of that within those numbers. Next slide. Now, the previous slide talked about numbers, which really couldn't mean anything, but to support that and show the impact, the true impact of that, each year we have brought in apprentices to come and tell us their story. What does the apprenticeship program mean to you, and how has ETP impacted them? The first person I'd like to call to the podium is Cayman Peterson, who's an electrician with the ABC NorCal chapter.
Hi, how's everyone? Start again. How's everyone doing? All right. My name's Cayman Peterson. I'm an ABC electrical apprentice. I work for Helix Electric. I was born and raised in the Bay Area, specifically Livermore. I'm 30 years old and I entered the electrical trade when I was 25 years old. Before that, I worked mainly at restaurants, serving tables. I worked my way up to bartending and eventually working events and weddings. I worked in the food service industry for about 10 years until a good friend recommended that I sign up for ABC. I cannot thank him enough for pointing me in the direction to finally start a real career. And now I get the privilege to work for that friend on this project in Palo Alto. Signing up for ABC is the best thing I've ever done. It has given me some financial freedom, and I no longer have to work 2 jobs just to get the bills paid. Since signing up for ABC, I've gotten married, moved into a home together, and started a family. Without the financial security that ABC has provided me with, I'm not sure if any of that would have been possible. Aside from the money, ABC has given me the opportunity to connect with several great companies. I started my apprenticeship with Canning Electric. I've also worked with Royal Electric, and I'm currently employed with Helix Electric. All very great companies that have all taught me something new along the way. I have learned a lot since I've entered ABC, and I'm grateful for all the amazing journeymen and superintendents that have shown me the way of the electrical trade. Being an electrician has not only taught me the trade, but it has given me a purpose. I have never enjoyed a job as much as I have enjoyed this one. I feel motivated every day to get the job done, and I wouldn't have had this opportunity without ABC. With all the classes I've attended and all the on-job training I've received from my employers, I feel really confident that I can excel in my career. ABC has impacted my life for the better over the last 5 years. It's helped me start my career and provide for my new family. I am forever grateful for this opportunity to become a journeyman electrician. I'm excited to see what the future holds for me. And thank you so much for letting me speak today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cayman. Next, I'd like to highlight Jennifer Clickenbeard, who's a recent graduate of the Surveyors.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer. I live in the Valley. I have been an apprentice, just finished. I worked through the apprenticeship for 5 years. I worked for Dragados Flatiron on the high-speed rail. I am now a crew chief there and have been for about the last 2.5 years. When I started out 5 years ago, I had actually, 2 years before that, gotten a divorce. At the age of 37, I was a stay-at-home mom. I ran an embroidery business from home because we had decided at the time that me working home, taking care of the kids was a lot less expensive or cheaper than, going out and getting daycare and dealing with all of that. So that's what I did. Let go of my business degree at the time and just kind of ran a small business at home to keep me busy. When I got my divorce, I was kind of at that point where you're 37 years old. Nobody wants to hire you even with a college degree because you have no experience. You haven't been out in the workforce other than working for yourself. You have nobody to vouch for you. It was really hard. About 2 years after my divorce, I had a friend that said I was going through college at the time for engineering and got to the point where my classes were no longer offered at night or way early in the morning because I needed to work and take care of my kids. And a friend happened to say, hey, have you ever thought about surveying? And he happened to be a heavy equipment operator at the time. And I was like, what's surveying? No idea what that was. Never heard about it. I'd seen the flags out on the field, but people don't talk about this line of work. It's not brought up when you're in high school and junior high. It's not there. And I applied for the apprenticeship. At the time, I also switched my classes to construction management, which I could do online because I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what surveying was. Started the apprenticeship and fell in love with my job. The apprenticeship has helped me. Before, I was scared to death what I was going to do to raise my kids, how I was going to afford retirement myself, insurance. You don't have that ability when you're 37 years old. You have nothing to fall back on at that point. You planned on being married the whole time. You guys had your plan, life laid out. This job has made me show my kids that as a single mom, you can work and you can step up and you can do everything. Being off at 3:30 in the afternoon or 2:30, you can go home and pick up your kids from school. You can do the homework with them and you don't have to rely on, sometimes you don't have support. And the support you do have, they work so much for you that you want to be there. You want to raise your kids. You want to be there for the after school sports. You want to be there to help with their homework. And I had that ability. With this apprenticeship, I got to work and make money and learn while I was there. I could have gone back to school and tried to stay, but who would have paid my bills? What's going to have my back? And with an apprenticeship, that was covered. I got to make the money while I learned and while I worked. And that was a big thing, especially at my age, especially being a woman. That is hard. And since then, thanks to everybody who has helped with my apprenticeship and get me through. My daughter is a senior in high school this year, finally, the last of my 4 kids. And she is proud of me and she talks about it at school. Her teacher contacted me about 3 weeks ago and said, I want you to come talk to my classroom. I want you to come talk to the girls in that classroom. I want you to come talk to the boys in that classroom. And I want you to push them and tell them that you don't have to go to college. You don't have to have that debt going into work, that you can go into an apprenticeship like this. You can work out in the field and you can do everything else that all those men can do out there. For the apprenticeships, I'd like to see them push forward and get into some of these younger aged kids. Go to the job fairs at the high school, show them that there's other jobs out there, that we can do this. And even the girls, let them know that it's okay. Doesn't matter how much anybody tells you you can't do this job because of OSHA rules and everything that we have to, you don't have to do the heavy lifting. We have tools for that. You don't have to do those things that everybody said you couldn't do before because you've got everything out there for you. And now there's more women in the field that are going to help push these other girls and even younger guys. I love telling the kids about my job. Hey, if I would have done this when I was 18, I'd almost be retired in 10 years. Like now I got to work a little bit longer, but I'm glad I did. My daughter still talks to me today about, hey, I think I want to go do that too. Like I want to get out there and I want to work outside. For people who love to work outside and not be locked up in an office and still use your brain and work and do the stuff, this is a great experience. Guys, girls who like to work with their hands and get out there and physically do it, we can do this with these apprenticeships. And thanks to everybody, that's been possible for a lot of us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next, I'd like to call Nancy Serrano, an electrician with the San Mateo Electrical. I'd also like to point out that the following trainee is actually a recipient of Erica funds too.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Short people problems. So my name is Nancy. I'm a union electrician apprentice with IBEW Local 617. Thank you for having me talk here today. I wanted to backtrack a little bit on how I ended up here today. So my first interaction with the JATC was working with the administrative side in 2013, which led me to apply for the apprenticeship in 2021 for the second time. I knew becoming a union electrician is what I wanted to do as a lifelong career. Getting into the program was everything but easy, but I am glad I stuck through it and finally got accepted into the apprenticeship in 2022. From that day on, I knew that not just my life, but my family's life would change as well. I am standing here at the beginning of my second year apprenticeship, proud of myself on how far I have already come. I was informed by my JATC about an opportunity for apprentices to apply for an Erica grant to help with childcare/expenses. I knew that was something I definitely wanted to be part of. Since receiving help from the Erica grant, it has helped me with the cost of before school childcare expenses and after school childcare. On the days that I am at the JATC for school, my life has been less stressful since receiving the grant because it helps me with the cost of care for my daughter. I am sure we all know how expensive it can be to live in the Bay Area, and with the help of the Erica grant, I am able to go to work and school knowing that my child will have a way from school and back home. I want to thank you all for working so hard to get us apprentices the opportunity to be part of the Erica grant, and would love for it to keep going for the apprentices and the new apprentices to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. And the reason why I wanted to highlight the Erica grants is because it's the collaboration between ETP and DAS to work towards the same mission, and that is to support apprentices. Next, I would like to call up, what's that? Oh, yeah. Rhiannon. I want to make sure I pronounce her name correctly. Rhiannon Casas. She's also an electrician and also a recipient of Erica grant funds.
I know, I love when I see people challenged to say my name and you did it, so we're good. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to us. It's Friday. We all got our brains on the weekend, so hopefully we can all be present here today. Just a little background. I was an esthetician before I was an electrician. I went from two totally different lifestyles in my career. I got into rebuilding my spa, and it kind of put me in the atmosphere of being around construction, and it kind of sparked my curiosity. And I was like, what am I doing facials and all these other things? Like, I think construction's speaking to me stronger. So I reached out to a few people. They got me involved with the TIP program, a trades introductions program. So I started there, and then I got a pre-apprenticeship for local 617 IBEW. And then, sorry, I'm umming. And once I got into there, I had to take a huge pay cut. I was making a wage that I could afford childcare and everything, and I did not have that any longer. So it was a struggle. The Erica grant now, like, I wish I had that then, and it's helped me even now. But if it was available then, it would have been like a God save, because there was days I was in tears. There was days where I was struggling to like just find care for my child. It's hard when you're a single parent. I do not have support. I don't have family that lives here. Everybody moved away. So I rely on that outsource of taking care of my children. And to have a grant like this makes the stress so much like tolerable. You know, it's just, you need a village to raise a kid. And when you don't have that village to support you, you need extra things to come in. And so this has helped a lot. It's just made life a lot easier for us. Also, the ETP, going through the apprenticeship and not having to worry about my book costs, not having to worry about paying for things afterwards or being in debt. is a huge relief too. I went to college before and it still comes back and is like, hey, reminder, you owe a little bit of this, and not having to pay for books. We get so many books every single year that if we had to pay for those, I know people used to have to pay for them before in their apprenticeship. This, I can't imagine how hard that would be when you're starting and you're at a low wage. So this, I just believe in everything here. I hope you guys see the benefits of this program, both of the programs, how they intertwine and what they really do for us. And it's hard when you have to change careers. I'm an Apprentisaurus Rex. I started late. So like, I'm like the little dino in the class. And it's hard when you're changing careers late in life. You know, it's scary taking a leap and then taking a financial pay cut too. So having all this support has just really made my life better, and for my kids as well. They're so proud to see their mom be an electrician. Like my daughter wears my IBEW sweatshirt to school and rocks it all day. And that gives me the most joy ever. So thank you guys for being here and listening, and hope you guys have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. Can you go to the next slide? Next, I'd like to bring up a couple of the training directors to talk about their outreach and engagement with veterans, women, and their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The reason that I've included this as part of the presentation is that there's always been this ongoing discussion of how do we present this information in the panel proposal so that way we tell a better story of the impact to the trainees. So that way, when you're making a decision, you can see this decision I'm making around this is based on these quality factors, the importance of the training, the quality of the training, the impact to that person's life. So the first person I'd like to call up is, I think she may not be here, Lisa Becerra or Lou Snyder from the Laborers, to talk about their engagement with women in the trades.
I am Lou Snyder from the Southern California Laborers. And we do know that there's a need for a cultural change to bring women into the industry, meaning we want to have representation out there so women see the desire and the value and that they can do it sort of attitude in the trades. So we have developed a Women in Construction group. We had our first meeting in July and we had about 60 gals come in. We also had contractor participation. We did a panel. It encompassed gals that are in the trade right now and graduates so that they could have shared experience and find support within each other. We were very impressed to see after our meeting, the gals were swapping numbers and exchanging information so that they could be a support for each other, which is exactly what we wanted. What we are also doing is moving some of our female applicants to the front of the line. So we started having female boot camps. We have an apprenticeship assessment, which we call a boot camp, because it is quite hard. There's a lot of hands-on activities that you have to do to join our program. But we have these female boot camps to, one, give these gals an opportunity, and two, when it's a group of gals going through it together, they can really support each other and help each other and cheer each other on through the process. And we've seen some success with that. So we currently have 62 females in our program. I will say that one of our most recent boot camps that we had a gal that was 57 years old pass our boot camp, and we were so proud of her. So we are making every effort to have representation of women in our program because we know that it's valuable and they can do it if they try. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lou. I'd like to call up next, I'm just going to go on my list, Kevin Johnson from San Diego Electrical.
All people problems. Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. So I'm really excited to share what we've been doing with our pre-apprenticeship. We're on our third year. We just graduated our 20th cohort. We have close to 400 graduates from this pre-apprenticeship now. And what we've seen over these past 4 years is a greater diversity in that pre-apprenticeship group. So we partner with our local San Diego Workforce Partnership to recruit the diversity of this group. Because we were finding out as an apprenticeship, we tried to run our own and we kept getting the same demographic. So when we partnered with Workforce Partnership, they were able to get a fuller range, greater diversity than we've ever been able to pull. And during that time, of our 400 graduates, we've had over 20% female in those cohorts. And most recently, it's been as high as 40% of that cohort is female. So of a group of 20, our last 8 were female. So we're starting to see a greater diversity in those groups, and we're sharing this opportunity of apprenticeship with females and letting them know this is as much your opportunity as it is anybody's. And we want to share safety, number one. We want to make them feel comfortable going to a job site, because that pre-apprenticeship is for people who've never stepped foot on this job site before. So we spend weeks teaching them safety and integrating them into the culture of what it is to be on a construction job site. That way, they actually fill out the application and take this career opportunity. And I'm excited to share we have over 107 active applications from females now for our apprenticeship alone. And that's really exciting for us. We haven't had numbers like that in a long time. I'd also like to share quickly what we've been doing for the veterans. So we have it's called VEEP, Veteran Electrical Entry Program. We ran 2 pre-apprenticeships so far over the 2 years. We ran 1 per year. And this year we have 18 in our 3rd cohort. 12 of them are active duty. So they're actually transitioning out of the military. And upon completion of this 7-week pre-apprenticeship program, they're going to get direct entry into apprenticeship. They bypass all the competition, they get direct entry. We've never had a cohort as large as 18. And 12 of them being active duty is also a milestone for us to hit. So next year in 2025, we're going to do 4 more pre-apprenticeships through CCJ, and we're actually going to run 2 cohorts of VEEP. So that way we can serve all the military, because we actually have a waiting list now. Word of mouth has grown. So that's what we're doing for the female and the veterans. I'm excited that this continues, the word of mouth continues to grow these opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin. Next, I'd like to call Ben Rivera from the Bay Area Sheet Metals.
Good morning. How you guys doing? So I'd like to share our outreach efforts and just things that we're doing. So a few years back, we appointed a coordinator to full-time as outreach director. That helped out a lot. That person is gaining a footprint, very well known, and has, just for this year, by the time we hit August, we already had 240 events already logged in, booked, attended, or in process. He's been asked to participate with counties on outreach efforts to help structure for correctional facilities and how do we best get in there and what's the best way to do our presentations in those spaces. So we are covering anywhere and everywhere that we can be, basically, and that effort has enhanced our program. Currently, we still struggle with selling sheet metal and it being appealing, right? So we're still working on that piece. We go anywhere between, as far as women in our program for apprentices, between 2% to over 3%. And then our graduations, we kind of knock down again. What's interesting though, when we bring women into our program, we have a piece inside of our apprenticeship called a coordinator's list, very similar to a dean's list, right? Criteria within the program, as well as employer performance, right? So their employers are sounding in on this well. So it's interesting to see that the small percentage we may have in our numbers in our overall percentage is the majority number or a big number in our coordinators list. We can pretty much count on all of our females being in there. They show up, they're on task, they're ready to go. And I haven't experienced too much different than that. So that's a positive piece. As far as veteran recruitment, currently right now, I was surprised this morning checking numbers, we're up to 10% of our program is veterans. We have, for sheet metal, we have a Smart Heroes program, which is actually, while they're still enlisted in the last few months, they can go ahead and take courses that advance them through their first year, and they can pick an area in the country that they would like to end up and exit to. And as long as they have an opening in that program, they come in there as a second-year apprentice. So that's been very successful. We've had some smart heroes coming into our program. We also do our own direct entry interviews for veterans that are able to show honorable discharge with DD Form 214. And that's been highly successful as well for us. Probably the big challenge that we're working on beyond is retainage. So recruitment, we're showing the numbers, we're getting people in there, we're getting them to apply. Got to get people on board with real opportunity. Real opportunity when you walk in the door to be trained just like everybody else, to have the opportunity to grow like everybody else, to have that opportunity to have a journeyman just like everybody else, right? So that's the big one that we're pushing on and working with our contractors. We've got everybody on board. It's great to hear our reps, taking calls on people that are green, and the reps are pushing back going, hey, talk to me in 2 months after you train them. And then and then they're out there visiting and making sure that they're getting trained. So we've got everybody on board with that. We're pretty happy. Beyond that, like I said, as far as our outreach efforts, where we're at, it's everything from incarcerated, veteran, ESLC, CBOs, women CBOs, there's correctional, probationary, college, Department of Rehabilitation, religious organizations, reassimilation, adult ed, MC3 curriculums, teen outreach, all the schools. It's just too many to list. It goes on and on. We have greatly enjoyed the benefits of VTP in our program. The Erica grant has made just a huge impact that I've got calls from apprentices every day saying, hey, is this happening next year? How do I get up on the list? So huge improvements there too. So we see that there's a lot of forward movement in ETP, in DAS, and we're happy to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Again, I wanted to call the work that people are doing out there. And as we engage folks, that it becomes part of our narrative when we're talking about ETP's apprenticeship program. What do you do for veterans? What do you do to engage women? What are your programs around diversity, equity, and inclusion? So then we can move forward and include that and incorporate that as part of our 130 proposal storytelling. Can we go to the next slide, please? So a little bit of program update. So going forward into the next year, we'll be looking at the application proposal. We want to make a few changes. For example, one of those changes are, how do we present the occupations to you in the proposal? One of the ideas that we have discussed is outlining the occupations by year. So we're looking at, does that work? What would it look like visually? Is it still going to provide you with the information that you need? We're also going to continue the work of our apprenticeship work group. We will start meeting back up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to continue working on our interagency collaboration, specifically around DAS, creating a memo of sharing data. We're also going to do partner engagement. And what I mean by that is, outside of our normal informational sessions and engagement through monitoring and development, what we want to do is come out and visit these facilities to hear from them, see what they do at their place, engage them, listen to them, get ideas on how we can improve this program. The last on it, we're going to explore programs in sectors showing high growth. Next slide. Next, I'm going to lead into the proposal review. But before I start on that, I do want to say, acknowledge the work that the RO staff and our contract review unit have put into getting these proposals to you today. Especially CRU, I'd like to really say thank you, because having patience, and while I reviewed these projects and get these things through, I really do appreciate the work, and they need to be acknowledged for all that. So I want to do that. But I also want to give an appreciation to Heather Miguel, who up until the last moment she could, put in work, which showed her commitment to this program. And I want to show that and appreciation, even though she is not here today. And knowing Heather, she is probably watching, making sure I followed her instructions to the T. But she knows the answer to that already. I ad-libbed. But I just wanted to call that out because she needs to be acknowledged. But I want to acknowledge everyone's hard work for they've done to get these proposals to you. Okay. Now, speaking about the proposals, a couple of things. One, what you'll see in here is the number of trainees that shows on the proposal is not necessarily the number of trainees that the program has or that the program may train. The reason that number is different is because we backed into those numbers in order to get to a funding amount. So in some of the narrative, you see that it may say we have 400 trainees, but then the numbers say something completely different. I just wanted to provide an explanation of why you may see that. In connection to that, sometimes there's a question about the cost per trainee. I just want to clarify that the way we get to that number is just based on the reimbursement rate times the number of hours that they report on there. And we report that out as a cost per training, but it may be different from when you're asking, is this the cost of training so high? And you're relating it to the actual cost to deliver that training. We're using the same term, but talking about in two different perspectives. So I just want to clarify that. What you will also see coming next month is the remaining apprenticeship proposals. Those proposals, we're still working on some details on the guidelines because those have some new items that we often do not see, and we want to make sure that we present that information in a clear manner to you so you know what you're looking at. There's also some language I want to clarify in the proposal. You'll see around retraining hours are capped. What we mean by that really is we're just saying training hours are capped. Because we call these retrainees, we tend to use that language across the board. So when you see it and says retraining out, that's what we're referring to. It's just the hours are capped, 200. There's also some language in here that I want to clarify. You may see in the active project, there's some summaries around performance. There's some language that says valid hours. What we're just saying is number of uploaded hours. We just want to make that distinction. And in the proposal, you look through the agenda, you will see that I group these by like industries, but I do want to make a correction to the electrical industry. And I apologize for this and looking at a lot of documents. Associated builders, general contractors should not be in the electrical. What I'm going to do for ease of administrative purposes is move them down to the next category, which is the laborers. Now, the general contractors have multiple occupations in there, but just for the ease to get us through the afternoon, or not through the afternoon, just to the afternoon. All right, brevity, right? I'm just going to move them to the next available category. So I do want to make that distinction. The last thing I want to talk about is, when you're on performance, is that we have this repeat contractor rule. However, the repeat contractor rule does not apply to the apprenticeship contracts because the effective date for that rule to take place was July 1st. Any applications received after that date would then be affected by that. These applications came through our window, which I think was at the end of May through a couple of weeks until June, prior to that taking effect. So those did not take place. Which will now transition me into our first category. The first category you will see is the electrical. And
One moment, Willie. Sorry, you've got me on pregnancy snack. Okay, so just asking, does any panel member have questions for Willie of what he's just shared before we go any further?
A couple of remarks real quick.
Yes.
Willie and staff, thank you for this. I'm really excited about today's hearing and how effective it's going to be in the lives that we're going to change. I just wanted to offer a sincere thank you to the apprentices that came before us today and shared your stories, the training directors. The kind of outreach that you're doing is really making a difference. I heard a lot about the Erica grant. From my knowledge, it hasn't yet been renewed for further grant awardees. So for those of you in the building trades that think that that's an important value from your lips to the governor's ear and to the rest of the legislature that we need more of these Erica grants to continue this kind of work. For Rhiannon, I might be coining some of your terms, esthetician to electrician and apprentice to dress. Brilliant, haven't heard that before, love that. And then also for our sisters, Jennifer, Nancy, and Rhiannon, I hope that next year you will be attending the Tradeswomen Build Nations Conference, which is occurring right now. My fear was that we wouldn't have any women showing up today, and you showed up today to give your stories, and it's really powerful and impactful. And I hope that IBW 617 awards you with the trip over to the next year's Tradeswomen Builds Nations, which is the largest convening in the world of tradeswomen it's happening right now in New Orleans. So with that, thank you sincerely. And I will be recusing myself from tabs 1 through 22 for the electrical division.
Thank you.
I too will be recusing myself for tabs 1 through 22 for the electrical.
Thank you.
Ready? We will do. We promise.
Thank you.
All right. So in tab 1 through 22, except for tab 6, wait, I want to be very accurate.
You have to be accurate, Willie.
Yes, I
Max
know.
looking at you down the line
I know.
already going.
That's why I just want to make sure. Right. All right. So except for, it was just in my hand. Yeah, the agenda. Oh, well. Yeah. Please, 6 or 4. Is it 4? I just need another tab. Yes, it is. Except for tab 4, you will have electrical proposals. Now, there are a couple of those proposals that are within there that have other occupations. However, because electrical is their main program, I decided to group them all under the electrical. Now, I will defer over to our legal counsel on the procedural part of making the motion to approve these.
My understanding is we'll be approving, we'll be going through the motion by way of lump sum. So it'd be a motion to approve the electrical, identifying the tabs, the one to be removed. So we have a clear identifiable record of what that is. A second to that. Public comment. Vote.
Ready? Willie, you got anything else for us before we go?
No, I do not.
I'm just asking. Okay, so we are looking at a potential motion for tabs 1 through 22. I'm just checking, but not tab 6. 4. See, I can't even get it right today. I
Yes.
can't get it right today.
My mistake, tab 4.
Okay, it's going to be one of those. So I do have a question of panel, though. If there's any of those that anyone has any questions they would like to ask in further detail of those proposals, or if there's any other questions people have on those before we look at a motion. I do have at least one that I do want to pull from that consent. Tab 10 is one that I would like to pull aside and then we can talk about afterwards. I don't know if anyone else has any others. No.
Would you like a motion?
So
What I'm hearing is it sounds like our chair has some questions uniquely for
just tab 10.
10.
Yeah.
So kind of according to our practice, oftentimes we do those clarifications prior to the motion. That way we're sure we're.
And then we can
understanding
do
by way of
all
the
at one
motion.
time.
So my suggestion would be you've identified one, perhaps whoever's going to be representing tab 10 can come up, address those issues. Hopefully we'll get a motion. Second,
And then we can go through that way. Sounds good. So tab 10, if I read it correctly, is Napa Solano, correct, Willie?
Correct.
So if I can ask whoever is representing Napa Solano on the electrical to just come up to the podium.
Hi, actually, they have been pulled from the panel today and will come to October. Sorry. Kelly Greer from Strategy Workplace Communication.
Willie, did you have that ahead of time? Yes. So tab 10 was pulled.
Thank you.
Can I then just make sure before we go into any more consent that there is none other on that list that has been pulled from today's panel meeting that maybe we were or weren't aware of before we even go into a motion of approving or consent?
Then I stand corrected. Everything tab 1 through 22, except for tab 4 and tab 10.
Okay, then I think, does anyone have any questions for any of the others? If not, we can move to a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve tabs 1 through 22 with the exception of tab number 4 and tab number 10 that has been removed.
We got there. All right, okay. Do I have a second? Mike, have a second? Can I go to a roll call vote? Oh, public comment first. So my brain is, I'll tell you, it's that time. I am at like snack time and my brain starts to go like that. So I apologize. It's pregnancy brain. All right, we're going public comment first. Do we have any public comment before we vote?
No public comments online.
All right, any in the room? No one's coming up to the podium, so we will go to vote.
Chris Dombrowski.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye. Alrighty, so all of us were in favor. So those tabs 1 through 22, bar tabs 4 and number 10 are all funded. Thank you.
You're just a quick, you're doing fine. This is a different kind of unique type procedure meeting.
It's cool. It's that time of, I'm with that last part
Let's
of
just
this.
use that same template going forward. I'm not sure as to panel packet items, but that template of what you just did, let's just do that.
Thank you. Hello.
I'm giving them just a minute. I think we've got nearly all of them out. Because that's what's happening. Everyone's moving out who was. So I think we will come back in to our next group.
Which is, yep.
And I
like to
believe
recuse
Rick is
myself.
recusing himself from this group.
Yes, he
Tab
is.
22 through 25.
All right. We will do.
Okay. The next set of proposals you will see are tab 23 through 25, which also should include tab 4, because I'm moving that from out of the first group to the second group for your review.
The tab 4 is coming into.
Yes, to be grouped in and approved or all as one. I'm making that adjustment
Tab
to the
4,
agenda.
23, 24, and 25.
You are correct.
Okay. Brain think today, Willie. Okay, so I do have a question for panel on tabs 4, 23, 24, and 25. Does anyone have any questions on any of those proposals?
I have one for tab 4, please.
For tab 4, okay, and I do 4, tab 24. So I'm going to suggest we start with tab. So what we're doing, as you guys were out of the room, is we're sort of doing like a consent where we're going to pull up the ones that we have questions and then we'll go to motion once we're good for all
Okay,
and do it that way.
I like this.
Rather than consent, then come back to the individual. Does that work?
That works for me.
All right, so we are going to, so we're starting with tab 4.
Correct.
Which is, if I get it correctly, the Associate General Contractors of America San Diego Chapter Apprenticeship and Training Trust Fund.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so whoever is here for, on behalf of that program, if they'd like to come up to the podium.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Glenn Hillegas. I'm the Executive Vice President, and thank you for the support, the privilege to review our proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Hilgas. The question I had for you is, it's indicative of previous questions that I've asked in last year's panel, not necessarily of you, but for your wage ranges. This looks really good to me. This looks pretty solid. But I wanted to ask you, do the apprentices have assurance that they're receiving the same wage per their apprenticeship year, consistent with whether or not they're working on public works or private works?
They are paid prevailing wages on their public works, and then if they have private wages, private work, and then they adhere to Section 208 rates for pay for that.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on Section 208 and what that means for that?
Section 208, the DAS has created a pay scale that's for private work that's slightly different than the prevailing wage. And so a few of them do get some private work and then they're paid by those wages.
Do they then see their wages dip significantly if they're assigned private work?
It's not significant, but yes, it's less.
Okay, approximately how much less percentage-wise if they're?
I don't have that in my head, I'm sorry.
So that's something that I continue to worry about. I'm going to make a motion to approve this today, but by and large, my worry is that as we have these apprentices moving through, especially the ones that are newer apprentices that are receiving a much lower wage because they haven't progressed yet to the higher wages, that for somebody to go through the program and not have that wage guarantee, that wage reliance that they know is going to be coming onto their paycheck, and then have to face perhaps a little bit or a significant dip in their wages, and then be uncertain how they're going to take care of themselves and their family. That is something I strongly oppose, and I encourage AGC San Diego to look at paying the full prevailing wage for the entire duration of your apprenticeship program.
Understood. The wages we put down there are the prevailing wage scale that we've guaranteed, and the lowest one, which is chosen, they're going to get paid higher than that. I just put that down there because just in case, but it did meet the ETP minimum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Then other one that we wanted to call up was the Laborers Training and Retraining Trust Fund for Southern California.
Hello.
Hi. So I just have a very quick question around administration. We ask this of many who have multiple different types of contracts. So it's no different for yourself or any other contract. So you're having an apprentice fund, and then you have an alternate fund where special funds for workforce literacy, correct, at the moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just talk us through the administration process to ensure we're not double enrolling? So when it comes to closing out your invoices, you're not putting both at, I'm going to say jeopardy, or like having to go back through audit trails to ensure. Can you just help us understand the administration side of ensuring that so you're not double enrolling your apprentices?
Sure, absolutely. We just internally tag our classes. So our staff knows that this is for, because we get HLP funds through our our LEA.
Yep.
So we tag all of our classes to know which one is getting ETP funds, which one is a literacy fund, and which one is an HLP fund, so that we are not in a situation of double dipping. So our literacy is our online training awareness class, and then we have a few specific classes that fall under that grant, and we do not bill them to ETP.
So you're doing them as two separate sets of apprentices. That's just wanted to make sure because you can't concurrent enrollment. That's
Yes.
all. It's a big one we see in audits and also when people are managing multiple contracts. So we just wanted to check. That's all.
Okay.
Great, thank
so
you.
much.
All right. Any other questions on those packets? Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve tabs 4, 23, 24, and 25.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on those proposals, tabs 4, 23, 24, and 25? I don't see any in the room. Any online?
No public comments online.
All right, so we will go to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill. Aye. Madison Hall.
Aye.
Thank you. So we're all in favor. So those 4 proposals are funded. You want to go again? Yeah, I was going to say, we've got to get Rick back. They both did on that one. Yeah, I think it was, yeah. All right.
All right, our next grouping will be for the finishing trades, painters, glaziers, and tile and marble.
I believe we have another recusal. We're just going down the line here, you know, then I think we're done after this one, isn't it, on recusals? So,
Madam
yeah.
Chair, I'd like to recuse myself from projects 26 through 32. Thank
32
you.
or 34? Are you staying out for all? We can do it either way.
So 26 through, sorry,
34.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 32.
And we'll have to do 3 motions then.
Sorry.
It's all right, we'll just do them as 3 motions. Someone's scribbling down which is, so you're out for 26 through,
One more time, Madison,
Yeah.
which ones?
26, 27, 28, is it?
So I can group mine into that batch if you would like.
Let's group all yours that you're recusing. We'll do those and then we'll do the remaining ones of that batch.
So 26 through 38. Is that what you're asking?
So you said you're 26, the ones you have to recuse yourself from are 26, 27, 28.
29,
Yeah.
30, 32.
So it's 26 through 30 and then 32. Okay.
Correct.
We will do those ones first as you're going to step out and then you can come back and do the ones, the others with us.
26 through 30 plus 32.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So I've got that straight in my head. Of packets number 26 through 30 and 32, are there any that anyone has any questions or clarifications they would like on those proposals?
I do.
Which tab, Mike?
27, 28, and 29.
7, 28, and 29. Okay. And then 30 is one that I would like to call up. So sounds like we have 27, 28, 29, 30. So 4 out of the 5.
Hopefully to go to 26.
So we're going, yeah. It's going to be one of those days. Okay, it was going so smoothly. All right, so if we can ask whoever is here for the Finishing Trades Institute District Council 36 JATC to come up. No, sorry, not 26. The Finishing Trades Institute of Northern California and Nevada Trust, drywall finishes, floor coverers, if they could come up to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Alex Beltran, representing the Finishing Trades Institute of Northern California.
Mike, you had questions?
Hi, Alex. I appreciate the work you're doing with apprentices, first of all. But when I was looking at these, they look like all 3 of these are the same organization. Is that correct?
We are a Finishing Trades Institute, so it's We have 6 different apprenticeship occupations. So it ranges from glazers to floor covers to drywall finishers to painters, highway stripers. So we have quite a few under our one organization, but they're all different trades.
Got it.
I
It
can
is-
promise you glazers and floor covers do different work.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just clarifying it's the same organization. Okay. The second thing is it's interesting to me that it looks like from previous contracts, you switch back and forth from painters to glaziers to, different occupations. I was just curious why you're doing that. It looks like to me that, if we approve all these, it's over $1 million for one mech. I understand you're breaking it up into different occupations, but why move back and forth between trades on different contracts?
Because last time this body asked me to do so, and I agreed. It was to share some of the funding because we were short on funding through ETP. We were asked to consolidate them for a year, and we did so.
To ensure the spread as we looked at the division, which makes sense. But I think it brings a very interesting conversation that's at policy at the moment around other contracts as well, around entities. Just as as I'm hearing this, this is actually I think we're looking at this in other contracts as well currently around entities, what equates to an entity, MECs, single employers in policy, just generally, it may be something we have to consider,
and
because I
take up in
understand why
policy
we've done
committee.
what we've done in the past, and it's about helping share that fund. But I think it does potentially lead to a potential policy as we're thinking about those other items as well.
So should we list all 16 locals separately like everybody else does? I'm not for sure. I'm not trying to start anything, but we have a huge jurisdiction and we have a lot of locals. And it's just, we try to keep everything uniform. It's
Mhm.
easier that way for us and
Right,
paperwork.
so I understand there isn't a uniform mechanism with our gold standard of apprenticeship programs. Some of you are by district council and have consolidated your training by district, even though you operate different facilities throughout the state. Others, like IBW, has a training facility and is a separate IBW affiliate and separate JATC up and down the state. So this is an item that I would encourage us to take up at policy committee, or maybe when we reconvene with the apprenticeship work group and delve a little bit more into that. Because I think we're going to need a little bit more intel and understanding from our different trades unions as to what the best practice might be.
And we're seeing this not just in the trades, and I think that's the important part. We're seeing this with a company that may have 6 or 7 entities, and they're coming in for 6 or 7 contracts. Others are coming in for 1. So it's actually part of the bigger, I'm going to say, ecosystem for us. And that's what we're seeing it as we see things, and panel are raising as we come. So I think it just comes into that big discussion at policy committee in that way on those. Zach.
And you just kind of walked into what I was going to say. We currently have an affiliates discussion, which is in the family of the same conversation.
Yeah.
And this is an issue that we've really within the last year have noticed is becoming more
A trend,
prevalent, and we
isn't it?
need to deal with it. It's already in committee on the affiliate side. Some of these other components is a little bit more granular, but it's within that discussion.
This is a very similar affiliates kind of conversation that I think as we address, we have to look.
Correct. And your legal unit's already received that message and it's already on track in committee.
Right, and our local unions have a different understanding of affiliate than we have an understanding of the word affiliate. So when I use that term, it's a little confusing for our unions in the audience, but it's something we can take up at policy committee.
You're absolutely right. The terminology has been part of the problem.
Thank you.
Yep, no, fantastic. Thank you. Mike, any other questions on that?
No, I'm good, thanks.
I do actually have one, I'd forgotten on these ones. So we do also see in actually tabs 27, 28, 29 audit findings. So audits happen periodically on contracts, they're random. And we tend to ask any repeat contract to this as it relates to audits. Having had audit findings going forward, what are the things that you're putting in place to help prevent those findings happening again, if that makes sense?
Well, I can tell you on the last audit, we put a lot of different language and policies together to assure that we're communicating properly and that the documentation, the way it's written, is more understandable for both parties.
Okay, fantastic. That's what we like to hear. Thank you. All right, any other questions on these three? No? Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the last one on this grouping is I just wanted to have a couple of questions with it's tab 30, Glaciers Architectural Metal and Glass Workers Local Union 636. So someone in the room has that.
Good morning. My name is Mike Galston. I'm representing Glazers from Southern California Glass Management Association.
Thank you. I just had a question around your current active contract. So it's very similar that you're here. And I will say, I'm going to go on record here from last year. We have seen a great improvement on this about seeing hours of training going into the system. We may still be working on retention, but we're seeing progress towards hours trained across a lot of our contracts. So thank you. I think that was one of our big ones at the moment. If I look at your current contract, there are 0 hours tracking currently. And can you just help us understand how are we working to get hours in? It's not retention, but the actual hours. Because when I look at that, it makes me think we're not spending any money. We're not training. And I know how competitive these funds are at the moment. It's probably the right word. So can you help us understand what's happening with training in that contract and the delay in the hours being entered?
I'd like to have our consultant answer that.
Thank you. And thank you, Madam Chair Betancourt, for that question. I think there was a slight delay between the printing of this report and CalEForce. I checked CalEForce last night. Currently, we have 62% of the training currently uploaded into CalEForce, and that is current as through June's training so far.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions? No? All right, thank you.
I'm going to look to the chair because she might correct me. I'd like to make a motion to approve tabs 26 through 30 plus 32.
Correct, I think.
That's correct.
Good, I'm glad. Jessica's going to make sure I'm on track. Okay, so that's the motion.
Second.
Second from Rick. Do we have any public comment? No one in the room is getting up. Any online?
No public comments online.
All right, then we'll go to vote.
Kristen Broski. Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
All right, so the motion is adopted. So those tabs are all funded, tab 26 through 30 and tab 32. What we're going to do, I'm going to get Madison to come back in, but we are right at break time. It is right at 10:40. I'm just going to call it 10:45. We're going to come back at 11. We're going to take just over 15, and we'll be back at 11 o'clock and go back to panel consents after that.
Thank you.
Bring this session back together as it is 11 o'clock, depending on which clock we're at. And we want to get out. Yeah, we're going to gavel again. Okay. We are coming back and we are going back to some of the finishing trades, I believe. Willie, am I correct? We're going back to some of the tabs in the finishing trades.
You are correct.
31, 33, and 34.
That is what I have.
Okay, I just wanted to check. All right, so we're looking at tabs 31, 33, 34. Does any panel member have any questions on those proposals? I take that silence as we do not. So do we have a motion for approval of?
Motion to approve tabs 31, 33, and 34.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on those three proposals in those tabs? No? Okay. Looks like no one in the room and I'm looking like no one online.
No public comments online.
So we will go to vote.
Kristen Broski. Mike Hill,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
Thank you. So we are all in alignment. We have approved tabs 31, 33, and 34 for funding. I'm going back to you, Willie. You can keep me in line. Thank you.
We are both in agreement.
Good.
All right, thank you. All right, what you will have next is tab 35 for the carpenters.
Does anyone have any questions on tab 35, the Carpenters Training Fund for Northern California? No? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve tab number 35.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment? Nothing in the room? Nothing online?
No public comments online.
All right, then we'll move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so everyone was in approval, so that is funded, tab 35.
All right, making progress.
We are.
Lunch. Tab 36 through 37 is for the bricklayers, cement masons.
Any questions from panel on these two proposals? No?
Motion to approve tabs 36 and 37 for the bricklayers.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment on those two proposals? No, so we will, I'm looking like there's nothing online. So I'm taking the silence as there isn't. So we'll go to vote.
Sorry, and the cement masons too. There's a difference. Bricklayers, cement masons.
Yep. Thank you. Let's go to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so everyone was in favor, so it is approved. Those two tabs, 36 and 37. Thank you.
Ew. In the next grouping, you'll see sheet metal workers in tabs 38 through 43.
All right, so does anyone have any questions for any of the proposals on tabs 38 to 43 under the sheet metal workers? I do have 39, which is sheet metal and air conditioning apprenticeship and journeyman training funds. And then 40 and 41, no, sorry, 41 and 42, which is sheet metal workers, local 104, Bay Area, North Bay, and sheet metal workers, local 104, Bay Area, South Bay. So if we could ask for those on tab 39, so the sheet metal and air conditioning apprenticeship and journeyman training fund to come up. I do have like one question.
Hi, Lorenzo Miles, representing Sheet Metal Apprenticeship Training Fund.
Hi, so I just, I was looking at prior contracts, current contracts, where they all are sitting on the administration side of it. Can you, I'm going to say, fuel me with confidence as we look at this? We had one that closed at the end of December of last year, that's sitting at 76, but I believe we're working to try and get that up correct in performance.
Yes.
Along with, we have some numbers for the current ones at 40 and 26%. I think I'm just seeing a 76% of one that closed in December. So we're now in October, nearly in October, at the end of September. Can you just help us with how are we making sure we're keeping on top of the admin to ensure we're getting hours tracked for all of them? So we're hitting good performance numbers for those two active and this one that's still closed out.
It's really a questions for your consultant, Lorenzo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So 22 is we're trying to work.
Kelly, we can't hear you. No. I don't think the microphone's on. Or it's.
Okay, I got a critic in the crowd. So 22 is closing down. And as soon as that's closing down, we'll be able to put things in 23.
Okay.
And then once 23 gets closed down, we'll be putting things in 24. This is not a giant JATC, but they are very solid. Their paperwork is fabulous. Work is going pretty well right now, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, since I've been training coordinator for the last 4 years, yeah, we've been busy. You know, we can't keep apprentices on, you know, on out of work list. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just keeping on top of the administration. So we're seeing those numbers. And like if one's closing out, we're at the end of retention period by now. If you think about December through to September. So it's just like making sure we're staying ahead of that piece. It always makes us nervous seeing it like 70%ers coming in. That's all.
This is really Lorenzo for your consultant to assist us with the admin and do a better job of that. But while we have you, Lorenzo, I wanted to just commend you and 206 and your apprenticeship program for all that you're doing with veterans specifically. I love seeing the competition that Smart 206 has every year with the other trades of who can be the most supportive of the Wounded Warrior block, who can admit more veterans to the program every year. And then I commend you also on your women's committee. And I see it all over social media of your women are fabulous. They're very active and they're very encouraging to have more women come into your trade. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then I did also have a question for, and I'm going to make an assumption that somewhere in 41, 42, it might be the same person. For sheet metal workers, local 104 Bay Area Industry Apprentice and Journeyman Training Fund at the North Bay and South Bay. It's the same person, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, just really quickly, it's again, very, very similar to a couple of the others we've asked. It's around performance on current contracts. And it kind of goes to something that Mike brought up earlier as well. As we look at this, we've been a group fund, we're going back to separate funds. I understand why we're doing these. But as I look at it, you have one contract that's sitting at 74, which is becoming into the retention period. You've got another one where we're sitting at 0 hours from last year, and then we're about to do two separate funds. I just ask you to focus on ensuring administration of those funds and making sure we're tracking hours. Does that make sense?
Kelly Greer from Strategy. I just want to point out that those numbers are old. They're actually much, much higher, 100%. Yeah. Do you want the real numbers?
I'm going based on the numbers I have in front of me because those are the most recent we've been provided that were pulled for us, I'm going to say, in our panel packets. That your ET 230921 is currently at 74% in current. That's what I have as the number.
Yes.
That's the number we're working on.
Okay. Okay, but they're a little bit higher.
What we're asking is just to be conscious of that and that the next contract that's currently active, the one that is ET 240906 is currently, as we see, is 0.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that we talked about last year as well, about really trying to keep on top of, even if it's just the training hours, I'm not as worried about like getting those in so that it's showing progress as we're seeing this, because it's fierce money and it's hard seeing 0 when we know everyone's fighting for the same bucket of funds, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, so yeah, currently right now, for my knowledge, which isn't reflective of your number, we're at 95 and 100% on those two.
So for your current ET 240906 as well, of what's compared to what we have that was, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hang on, Mike, do you have a question?
Just actually for us.
Yeah.
Does the contractor see what goes into the packet before it goes in the packet?
Yes. There's pre-panel meetings with every contractor, correct?
Be checking that.
That is correct. There's some inconsistencies with ETP, but our intent is to provide a draft of the 130 to the contractor during the process of the development.
Everyone does see a copy before it goes into panel packets.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that would be my piece of highlight it, because this is what we base on and we get to read usually the week before. Sometimes staff can get us more updated numbers, but this is what we base all of our pre-readings on.
And there is because of the process, there is a delay by the time it may leave someone's review and then it goes to print. And some hours may have been updated during that time. but it's already left the process. So
A 0 to 100 seems a very big jump. I'm just
it's
saying.
possible.
It's possible, but it
But
feels like a very big.
I
jump.
can only explain why there's a delay on our part and why you may not see the exact numbers that you want, that is being expressed.
Thank you. Any other questions for anyone? No? All right, thank you. So I guess we're going to motion.
Motion to approve tabs 38 through 43.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments? None in the room? None
No
online?
public comments online.
All right, then we will move to vote.
Kristen Broski, Michael Hill,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Madison Hall.
All right, so that is everyone in favor. So that is tabs 38 through 43 being funded. Thank you. I think we're going to ironworkers next, are we?
Yes. Yes, the iron workers are next, tab 44 and 45.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on these proposals on tab 44 and 45? No?
Just to put into the record, congratulations on the ironworkers of again having the best maternity care program in the entire nation and what you do for your women apprentices as they face pregnancy. Thank you so very much for the full coverage that you provide.
Ready. So do we have a motion for tabs 44 to 45?
Motion to approve tabs 44 and 45.
Second.
Any public comment on these two proposals?
No public comments online.
And no in the room, so we'll move to vote.
Kristen Broski, Michael Hill,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye. All right, so everyone was in approval, so therefore the ironworkers tabs 44 and 45 are funded.
They look like they want to say something.
Do they want to say something?
Ironworkers, do you want to say anything? Or are you guys good?
I look up and they're like missing.
You flew all the way up here. Thank you.
We're good, thank you. All right.
The next grouping is plumbing and pipe fitting trades and tabs 46 through 58.
Right. Any questions with this group? Tabs 46 through 58.
Panel members, please note tab 51, there is a correction to the estimated number of trainees in the current wage range by occupation. The correct number is 44.
In tab 51.
Correct, 51.
Any questions, comments? All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve tabs 46 through 58.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comment on any of those proposals for plumbing and pipe fitting, isn't it? Tabs 46 to 58. No, none online,
No public comments online.
no one in the room, so we will move to vote.
Kristen Broski, Michael Hill,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye. All right. Willie, next set.
All right. Next, you see a grouping of elevator, fire sprinkler fitters, and stationary engineers, tabs 59 through 62.
Does anyone have any questions on those proposals 59 through 62? No questions? Okay.
Motion to approve tabs 59 through 62.
Second. Thank you. Do we have any public comment on the elevator, fire sprinkler fitters and stationary engineers proposals? People are leaving the room and not coming to the podium. So I take that as no public comment in the room. Is there any online?
No public comments online.
All right, so we will move to vote.
Kristen Broski, Michael Hill,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye. All right, so the motion is adopted and I am going to confirm the numbers. Tabs 59 through 62 are all funded.
Our next grouping is asbestos and roofers trades in tab 63 through 66.
Right. So does anyone have any questions on proposals 63 to 66, the asbestos roofers trades? I am hearing no signs of questions.
Motion to approve tabs 63 through 66.
Second.
Jill second. Okay. Do we have any public comments on these proposals in the room? Not seeing any online.
No public comments online.
No one in the room, so we will move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so we all voted in favor, so those are all funded. Tabs 63 through 66.
Correct.
Okay.
Next grouping, you'll have the surveyors and operating engineers in tab 67 through 69.
Any questions from the panel on these three proposals?
Really, did our highlighted apprentice, Jennifer Clickenbeard, come from one of these?
I think she did, but I'd have to confirm with
They're
that.
saying yes.
Okay, good.
Being a hand raised, yes.
Really well done.
Okay, any other questions? All right.
Motion to approve tabs 67 through 69.
Second. Thank you. Any public comments on these three proposals, tabs 67 to 69? I don't see any in the room
No public comments online.
and online, so we will move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so we were all in favor.
Real quick, Jennifer is actually gonna be one of our instructors for the president.
Oh, fantastic. So she's going to come and instruct you as well, even better. Yeah, thank you. So we did though all votes, and that was not to do with the vote, so we are good. Saying that as I say that out loud, because otherwise I'll get told. So we approved tabs 67 to 69 were all approved for funding. And that's great news about Jennifer. All right, next, we're going to trade show and sign crafts. I
That's right.
believe.
Next is for a proposal for the trade show and sign crafts in tab 70.
Any questions from anyone on 70?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd like to recuse myself from this project.
From 70, okay, yep. Great thing is I can see when Madison leaves from the camera. It's great. Okay, any questions on tab 70 from anyone?
Motion to approve tab 70.
Second.
Thank you. And do we have any public comments on the trade show and sign crafts? No, any online?
No public comments online.
All right, the room's getting thinner and thinner. We will move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Mike Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
And Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
All right, so everyone voted in favor. Therefore, we are approved on tab 70. We'll give Madison a moment to come back and
Yes.
then
We're almost done.
we're almost done. All right, we're back in
All
motion.
right. Next is tab 71 for the meat cutters.
Right, anyone have any questions on the UFCW Local 5 meat cutters proposal? You love it? I know. Anyone else except for Gretchen's feeling on the reoccupation? I think that's a great one. But any comments on the proposal or questions? No?
Motion to approve tab 71.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on the UFCW meat cutters one? No?
No public comments online.
All right, then we will move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so we all voted in favor, therefore it is funded. You're welcome.
And Tab 72 is for State Building and Construction Trades Council.
All right, so anyone have any questions for tab 72?
Who's here representing building trades today? California Building Trades.
Kelly.
Anyone representing California State Building Trades? Okay. It's a statement.
Okay, no, that's okay.
I'm
I
making
wasn't
a
sure if you were
little-
looking for a person to make sure we had someone
Uh-uh.
in here. We did have a surprise
It's a
withdrawal.
little- it's
We had a
little
surprise withdrawal earlier, so
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
wasn't sure if you were in the know of the other side of that one.
No.
Hello, Kelly Greer from Strategy. My apologies, Jeremy is on his way.
Okay. It's just a statement for Jeremy that everyone's talking about the Erica grant, and under the leadership of Chris Hannon, I'd really like us to advocate for more Erica grants. And I know that Chris can do that, and he is very outstanding with the state building trades. And just to reiterate that, all the affiliates need more of that.
Absolutely. Jeremy is really on top of that, and we're looking forward to the next 20 million.
Yeah, he's probably
And,
advocating for it right now.
Yeah, and the 20 million has been approved. And so with that 20 million, they haven't decided how much is going to the childcare stipends and how much to outreach. So we're
Excellent.
looking forward to getting more direction on that. But so far, the building trades has given out over $1 million in stipends and held like about 15 community of practices for outreach. So it's going really well. And here he is.
Jeremy, I was just saying, kudos on the Erica grant and that more of our local unions need that. So whatever yourself and our esteemed president, Chris Hannon, can do to advocate for more Erica grants, we encourage you to do so.
Thank you. Whatever Kelly said, first of all, second of all, I'm out of breath. I apologize. I was going to start by saying thank you. I think by luck of the draw, we went last today. But it's important for me to come here last as a representative of the State Building and Construction Trades Council to speak on behalf of all of our JTCs you saw today. And just to let you all know, you're changing people's lives with this funding. To say thank you to all of you. Sorry that I was tardy again, but to all of your staff for all the hard work that goes into a 650-page agenda. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the time you've given all the JATCs today who came before me. So I won't, I'm not sure where to start or end, but I'll stop there and take a breath and answer any questions. So thank you very much.
Madam Chair, can I recuse myself from this vote?
Yes, I'm looking over this, but yes, technically. Yeah, you can recuse yourself, yeah. All right, so any other questions on this proposal? I know we sidebarred, but.
Yeah, I sidebarred a little bit and
Mhm.
just so the audience understands, through the state building trades, you are growing apprenticeship programs by being kind of the umbrella admin organization to allow these smaller apprenticeship programs to grow into fruition so that then they can have their own contract. And you've been demonstrating a lot of success in that. So thank you for continuing to take that leadership role.
Thank you for that.
All right, so no further questions?
Motion to approve tab 72.
Second.
No, wait, yes, 72.
We get to the end of a list and we get confused. All right, any public comments on tab 72, the State Building and Construction Trades Council, California? None in the room.
No public comments online.
All right, then we will move to vote.
Chris Dombrowski, Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All right, so we all voted in favor, therefore State Building and Construction Trades Council of California is funded. That is our proposals for the day. I think
Yes,
we are
that
now,
is.
we better get Mr. Smiles back in. I know he likes to stay outside sometimes. He's back. You must have been listening. You know, I know. He's like, I know it was going to be quick. All right, so we are now moving back to other items on the agenda. I believe we are now going to switch We've done all our panel packets, our actions on proposals. We're going to move to a recap of policy committee. And then I think we'll naturally go into the next piece after that.
If I can just ask Willie and staff, if you have this at your fingertips, if you don't, it's okay. But we just approved more than $22 million for 72 apprenticeship programs. How many apprentices does that equate to for this year?
I think at the beginning I said 15,000.
Yeah, I think it was about 15 you said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder. Okay, to recap our policy committee, we met yesterday afternoon with attendees both in person and via Zoom. There was a single agenda item at the meeting, a discussion on potential changes to the workforce literacy pilot program. The discussion successfully generated a set of recommendations for amending the workforce literacy program, and you will hear those recommendations momentarily. If anyone has any potential agenda topics that they would like to submit for future policy committee meetings, please email them to Liz Testa. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are now going to hand it over for the recap of what happened and on workforce literacy.
Hello, thank you, panel. My name is Ilya, and I'm the workforce literacy lead. Today, I'll be going over the memo and what we went over yesterday in the policy committee meeting. So with literacy, just as a recap for those who weren't there yesterday, all the contracts are a little over a year, except for one, into their contract. And we did hear back in the May panel some concerns about the program and what was going on. So in response, ETP conducted a survey. We got the survey results back, and then we identified certain areas around performance barriers, implementation delays, and digital literacy curriculum. And so with that, we ended up going to the policy committee meeting yesterday, having a discussion with the panel members there and the public, and then ultimately coming with 4 recommendations to move forward for vote today. So today, the ETP staff is recommending panel to vote to approve these proposed changes to the workforce literacy pilot program based on yesterday's meeting. The first one is a contract term extension. So the current requirement is all literacy contracts are 2-year terms with a start date of when their proposal was approved. Our proposed change is to extend the contract term for all programs in the literacy pilot to end on June 30th of 2026. This will allow additional time for all of the literacy contractors to successfully complete their programs, and will still allow 1 year for ETP to be able to fully expend those funds, including any potential recuperation or redistribution of funds. Item 2 is a change to the English literacy focus. So currently, all literacy programs require a significant portion of their literacy training to include English literacy. This proposed change would remove that requirement to dedicate to English, and this change would allow for greater flexibility within the literacy. So a program could be all digital literacy or all some other form of literacy, and that would be item 2. Item 3 is a change to full-time employment definition. So the current full-time employment definition for this program is defined as 35 hours per week. This proposed change would redefine that definition to 28 hours per week for this program. And then the impact of that is it would expand the eligible trainee population under this program. The fourth and final for today is an alignment of the trainer to trainee ratios. So currently for the new hire trainees, they have a 1:15 ratio where the incumbents have a 1:20. This proposed change would bring the new hire up to 1:20 to be in line with the incumbent training. And that is the recommendations today.
Thank you, Elliot. Any questions from the panel on this? No? So we're looking to go for a motion to approve these changes. So do I have a motion for approval?
So moved to approve these proposed changes from yesterday's September Policy Committee meeting to the Workforce Literacy Pilot Program.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on this?
We do have one public comment online from Anna.
Okay.
Go Askew.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm Anna Negrescu. I work at the National Immigration Forum, and I lead the forum's English at Work initiative. Thank you so much, Ilya, for putting these recommendations forward, and to the panel for considering them and voting. And also thank you to the panel for recognizing that literacy is key to worker advancement and economic mobility. This is also our North Star, so thank you for investing in it. We responded to the survey, but I wanted to quickly share our experience in support of extending the contract term to June 2026 in particular. We are an English literacy program designed for the workplace, which is intentionally delivered in a blended classroom instruction and online asynchronous learning. So we also teach some digital literacy. So and we are a first-time ETP contractor. We had a learning curve and had to adjust some of our processes to meet ETP requirements. So we had a later start than we had hoped. But our biggest challenge was getting training off the ground with employer partners. And while we hear there's overwhelming interest in offering English literacy training among both existing and new employer partners, these employers often cite staffing and labor shortages which impact their operations. And they tell us that, given that the training must be on the clock, it's difficult for them to prioritize it while also ensuring their operations run smoothly. So, the data shows that whenever there's turnover, immigrant refugee employees or English learners are the ones who stay and keep the operations afloat. So they work hard, they work many hours a week to fill those gaps, and the businesses really rely on them. And these, HR teams tell us they're overstretched. They also tell us they have a significant number of employees who could benefit from literacy training, but they also tell us they have no bandwidth to start new training. So lots of things to consider. And because of all our employers are first-time participants in ETP training, we had to also educate them on the requirements and the benefits of the training. And some were hesitant about providing sensitive information, were concerned about privacy, but the ETP was super helpful in helping us help businesses understand that there are no risks and everybody is taking measures to protect data. And then we also worked with the California Farm Bureau and their member businesses to customize curriculum for agricultural workers. I'm out of time, but by the time we were ready, they said their busy season started, so we had to postpone until after harvest. But we do expect a rush of training, and we would highly benefit from an extension to the contract. Thank you so much for listening and for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any other public comments on this?
No other public comments online.
All right, there's no one in the room, so we will vote for this motion.
Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Holm.
Aye.
All right, so we were all in favor, so those changes will go into effect and allow that extension and the other pieces. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we are moving to this last part of this agenda. So everyone was like, we'll be past lunchtime and we're we're not even close. All right, so this is that time where I always ask the question, I get silence, but I never know. This is the opportunity for panel members to add anything to the agenda that they would like to for future panel meetings. Anything? No, I should come up with a nice long list for you guys in December. Okay, so then we are now going, as we have nothing there, we're going to switch to public comment for matters that are not on the agenda. So I look like I've got Kelly coming up to the stand, and it's any matters that were not on the agenda today, and we are keeping it on time. These guys are timing for me. All right.
I will be very brief. Kelly Greer from Strategy. I would just like to say so many thank yous to Willie Atkinson for his hard work and leading his team to get all of this together for today. I would also like to say that the fiscal team did an amazing job of trying to move things and helping Strategy this year learn how to work better with kind of the contracting. And then also all of those developers out there that worked so hard the last 3 months on these applications. Thank you. You're changing lives. Goodbye.
Any other public comments? Doesn't look like there's many members of the public left in the room. Mainly looks like staff, but just checking. And are there any online?
No public comments online.
All right. So I guess we need to go to a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Any public comment on that one? I don't think so, but we do have to vote. So I better make sure we vote.
No public comments online.
Okay, we better vote then. Otherwise I'll get told off for adjourning without a vote. Let's vote.
Okay, Chris Dombrowski. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Madison Hall.
Aye.
All righty. So we all voted to adjourn at 11:37. We are calling this to close. There we go.
Willie, take that vacation now, Willie. Take that vacation now. Good job.